All right, Shalom. Kohalayim La Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the Akim Wakwaf that scattered abroad the four corners of the earth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom. And today's lesson is entitled Wisdom Shall Keep Us Stable in These Dark Times to Come. All right, and that's talking about Jacob's trouble, which is a future prophecy, to take place in the distant future. All right, that's why the scripture says, measure the times diligently. Let me go ahead and get that real quick. Salak, not Sirach, Second Ezra, chapter 9. All right, Khan. This is Second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before. And how do you measure the time diligently? Through these prophecies that's taking place, in the world. All right, we use these different news articles, just the news period, just staying on our watch, seeing what's going on in the world. All right. And it says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And is going to begin to list, a few signs. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, which that's going on. You got earthquakes in diverse places, and you got uproars of the people in the world. All right. It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. All right, we're reaching the end of Esau's age, his rulership. Like it says in Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Well, that's the time period that we're living in. All right. So I wanted to get that precept real quick, through the spirit. Salakia, my throat is killing me, but, got to still, push his word out. But anyway, the title of this lesson is Wisdom Shall Keep Us Stable in These Dark Times to Come. And I was watching the elder brother GMS Awakening about a dream that he had about martial law and food rationing. And, as the elder brother was speaking, describing about martial law and how people were bugging out and going crazy, and the food truck was rationing out food, and it's just like the scriptures say, it's going to be like a time like never before. All right, that's the time period that we're approaching. All right, and recently in the news, which is today, May 11th, you got that Title 42, which the elder Apostle Gabar made a lesson on it, and the elder Mawatazak, if I'm saying his name correctly, Salakia. But they made a excellent video on that where they're weaponizing people, that got the scabies and I forgot the other type of disease that they got, but they're going to be allowed to come over the border. All right. And that's all orchestrated by the wicked. So the time period that we're coming into is of great tribulation, death, famine, which Lord's will. I'm going to get that precept. But anyway, the elder was describing a dream that he was having, the setting, all of that, but while all hell was breaking loose, he was pretty much the only one stable in that time, because Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai was dealing with him. All right, was keeping his mind sane and stable. All right, so let me read this precept. This is Isaiah 33, verse 5. The Lord Yahweh is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. All right. First thing to point out is the name, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. All right, because like the scripture says, I'm going to go ahead and get it. Nahum chapter 1, verse 7, one of my favorite precepts. It says, the Lord Yahweh is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. And the ones that's ultimately going to trust in the Lord is the elect, because they're going to have faith. They're going to have this wisdom that is embedded in their mind that's going to keep them stable and sane from these different perils and just all hell breaking loose. So I'm going to reread it again. The Lord Yahweh is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. All right, so let me go back. Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge, all right, which is the instructions that's contained in the Holy Bible, shall be the stability of thy times. All right, Jacob's trouble. All right. 2nd Ezra 15 and 16 goes into it. Daniel, the 12th chapter, which Lord's well, again, I'm going to get some of these precepts, because I don't want to just quote them. And it says, in strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. All right, so we're going to need stability from the Lord, man. We're going to need, some type of protection. All right, some type of sanity. All right. Let me see. Before I get there, let me get Ezekiel, the 7th chapter, verse 5. And it says, thus saith the Lord, power and evil, and only evil, behold, is come, and end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. And evil is bad times. All right. That's why the scripture says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. All right. How do you hide yourself? In that strong tower, the name of the Lord. All right. That word foresee means to see ahead. And you see ahead through these prophecies, because there's a certain amount of men that the Lord is dealing with, where the Lord has opened our minds to see the future foreshadowed, events that's about to take place. Because the regular average Jake, they don't know what's going on. They don't know nothing about a Title 42. They don't know nothing about, the different operations, the Rex 84s and, the Project Blue Beams. They don't know nothing about that, man. They're too caught up in the cares of this world and in this life, because ultimately they're comfortable here. But you see, the hopefully elect, they want to get up out of here, man. We ready to go home, because we're tired of the wickedness. We're tired of, working a 9-to-5, type of job. We're tired, man. We ready to go home. But before we go home, there's going to be great tribulation that's going to take place. Let me scroll on down. Verse 25, it says, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. All right, there's not going to be peace in these times, man. All right, you're going to see all hell breaking loose. All right. Let me see. All right. Let me see, man. Just looking at these different precepts that I got written down through the Spirit. But let me go ahead and get it. Let me get Matthew 24. I start at verse 3, and then I'm gonna work my way down. Do I want to start at verse 3? It's a lock here. Now I'm gonna start at verse 6. And it says, Matthew 24, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. All right, that's going to be a major plague that's going to kill off a lot of people. Starvation. All right. What is it? Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, where it talks about suddenly the storehouses shall be found empty. All right, that's talking about your BJ's, your Costco, what else, man? Sam's Club, you name it. All right. You had in 2020 where you try to go buy some toilet paper or paper towels at least. That whole section was gone, man. That whole section was just, you walk down that alleyway, it was just completely white. You didn't see nothing on the shelves. It was empty. That's how that's how it's gonna be when there's no food on the shelves. All right, and if there's no food, people gonna be going crazy. I'm gonna get 2nd Ezra 15 in a second, Lord's will. And it says, and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay. And before you even scroll down, in the heading it says perilous times, meaning dangerous times. All right. Matthew 24, verse 21, for then shall be great tribulation. All right. And Jeremiah 30, it says Jacob's trouble. Daniel 12, it says a time like never before. Right here, it says great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. All right. Reading this scripture can't even paint the full picture of how bad it's going to be actually basically in front of our eyes, man. We can't tell you how bad it's going to be and get. That's how bad it is. All right. And except those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right. It's all about the elect at the end of the day, man. All right. The Lord is going to take care of the elect, the chosen. All right. In 2nd Ezra 16th chapter, it says, be not doubtful, be ye not afraid, something like that. For the Lord is your God that keepeth his commandments. All right. The Lord's going to guide his men in these times. It's lucky. Let me get 2nd Ezra's. I might come back to this chapter, Lord's will, but I'm going to get 2nd Ezra's 15 real quick. I'm just going through the spirit, really. 2nd Ezra's 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right, the modern day sword is the gun. All right, you might actually have machetes and bats, or really any killing instrument that is available, but it's gonna be crazy. All right, for there should be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right. And that's going to happen. You're going to have these major checkpoints like in the movie The First Purge. I think it was in New York where they closed off that whole island. Nobody could get in, nobody could get out. All right, that they are going to set up checkpoints, these FEMA checkpoints where, if you're going to desire to get into a city, you're not going to be able because it's going to be closed off. You might have a family member, you might have food in the next city, but you're not going to be able to go over there, man. You're going to be SOL. It says for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. All right, you're gonna have home invasions. All right, your neighbor that you probably used to join up on Sunday to watch a football game in the Super Bowl. Back then you were friends and maybe decent, but in that day, well, hey, I don't know. If you got a generator, if you got certain canned goods and Salakia, forgive me, man. Anyway, if your neighbor got certain canned goods, a generator, supply survival, tools or whatever, and he don't, best believe he's gonna be paying you and your family a visit and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. And that's the time period that we're coming into. All right. Let me see. 2nd Ezra 16 verse 1, woe be unto thee, Babylon, Asia, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. All right. Let me scroll on down. 2nd Ezra 16 verse 17, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? All right, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. All right, this is what Jacob's trouble consists of. Everything that I'm reading now. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. All right, we read famine in Matthew the 24th chapter. All right, the beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. Bad times, what shall I do when these evils shall come? All right. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals, which is food, shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. All right, and that's Jake right now. See, they think they can go to their McDonald's and KFC and wherever the hell else, your Burger Kings and get some beer and whatever, and they think they're good, but really they don't know what's in store for them, man. All right. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. That's a lot. That's a lot in what I want to say about 7 verses. About 6 to 7 verses. That's a lot. That says a lot. Again, the Lord has opened our eyes to see that we're coming into these times through faith. But again, we can't fully fathom on how it's actually going to be, because we're going to be in it. Okay, a lot of people are going to die, man. A lot of people that you probably know in this life. I mean, that are close to you. I mean, people that you worked with at your job. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. All right. Let me see what else, man. Um, I get this one because the Lord's men is gonna be taken care of. As the elder brother was speaking, this precept came to mind, because he brought up Isaiah the 65th chapter where it says his servant shall eat. But this is Proverbs 10 and verse 3. The Lord Yahweh will not suffer the righteous to be famished, all right, to be hungry, all right, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked. All right, let me get a different translation. NIV, the Lord does not let the righteous go hungry, but he thwarts the craving of the wicked. Let me see what the NLT says. The Lord will not let the godly go hungry, but he refuses to satisfy the craving of the wicked. That's plain. All right. Psalms 33. Psalms 33, verse 18. Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him. All right. Who's the eyes of the Lord? The angels. All right. Daniel, the 12th chapter says, Michael, the great prince, which standeth for thy people. Forgot how the rest of it, but basically Michael the archangel is going to have to come down here and help us, man. All right. That's how bad it's going to be. All right. And also another precept, it says the angels of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him. So it says, behold, the eye of the Lord Yahweh is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy. And we hope in the Lord's mercy because we're going to need it. It says the righteous shall scarcely be saved. That's the righteous. That's the elect. If the elect is scarcely going to be saved, that's again. If you're not the elect, you SOL, man. All right. It says to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. All right. Let me see what different translation. To deliver them from death and keep them alive in famine. Let me see, NLT. He rescues them from death and keeps them alive in times of famine. That's plain. Our soul waited for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. Okay. The Lord's name, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, not no JC, not no Ahaya, or, all these other damn names. All right. If you ain't calling on the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, well, guess what? You're not receiving food. Guess what? You're not receiving protection from these animals, these lions, these bears, that's going to be let loose, because that's that's also part of prophecy. I think it says in 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter, that the wild beast shall be trading places. I mean, look at I Am Legend. All right. That's a good example right there. I mean, look, if the Lord ain't dealing with you, man, you out of luck. All right, because you got to battle the weather. You got to battle against bandits and Esau trying to chase you and kill you. I mean, we're gonna need the Lord's mercy and His help, man. So that's all I got through the Spirit. I hope y'all brothers and few sisters were edified. And in closing, I want to say, Kohalayim La Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakwadash Shalom.